What's up guys, this is Cher talking, welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I want to talk about the 3 new Spiral Corridor styles released in the latest update. We have Orieve, we have Yangfen, and we have Silver Emperor. We're going to discuss them all and start with Orieve. She is a support style, and she does have some STR, but damage is not her focus. She does have low endurance and has a good agility because she can debuff. That's why she does have 69% intelligence. This type of intelligence may work here and there, but it may not be enough for most bosses. She will likely miss, but works in Remembrance fights if we need to debuff. Her will is also not that high. She's a free unit and also needs some love for some of her passives, like Dare to Hope 3, that triggers a AoE heal when she dies, and that triggers before anyone can die if they die together with her, so she actually can avoid death to the party. We saw that before. Maria has something like this as well. Then we have Energy Recovery 2. By the end of a turn, she gets 2 BP and also recover her HP by around 250. The third one, High Protect Tension. We know this too much. 20% damage increase, reduces damage taken by 30%. She is a free style, so having access to 1 damage reduction is actually pretty nice. Skill number 1 is called Wheel Bladed. It's a full AoE, slash and blunt attack with 4 BP cost that has just D power and will debuff the enemy intelligence with a chance. The value will be 15%. That's actually pretty nice if you look back on Oculus that had this, well, kind of like close to the release of the game, but it's an interesting skill that was meta for quite some time. Mirage Step. Remember Mirage Step? Well, this is stronger than Mirage Step and has 2 elements. But the problem here is that Oculus can achieve much higher intelligence, whereas your Orieve cannot. Well, again, she's a freestyle, so it has some limits. The second skill is Dance of Good Health. It's a fast support skill that will buff all surviving allies' endurance by up to 30% if you max level this manually. That's right. And then she also grants all surviving allies a passive, call it Purify Energy 2. This lasts for 1 turn. Then, well, let's see what this happens. Well, Purify Energy 2 has a 50% chance to remove all debuffs and then cleans from all ailments and recover 2 BP. That's right, in the end of a turn. But the problem is that this only lasts for 1 turn, so she has to cast it again. And then she has 5 BP every turn. It's actually a good way to fight some boss fights that will try to debuff you all the time, so that you can cleanse, but that's not a guarantee. If you have someone like, for example, Witch's Daughter, Witch's Daughter can actually do it with a buff skill, call it Sweet Smell. So she removes all the buffs applied to the team and then buff them further. And she can do this anytime, but it's an 8 PP skill. With Orieve, we have only a chance, but again, she's a freestyle, that's what you get. But people will also recover 2 BP and get cleansed. On Remembrance fights, if she is all you have, you can just restart, see it works, and it's fine. Then we have Raccoon Slash Plus. This is a full AoE attack with 10 BP cost and 8 power, with slash and blunt damage. The skill itself, it's actually pretty nice for the cost, but she's not a damage dealer, so you're only gonna use this if you want to place her in training. Then for Inheritance, in her first Welfare style, you can get Healing Oracle. That is a Recover Revive spell that heals for quite some good value, but applies stealth. That is nice to recover and revive people in the back rows. In the front lines may not be so good because actually characters placed in the front line we want to be attacked more often. And then Song of Love buffs all surviving allies, endurance, love, and charisma, and this is not really that bad. For example, a new player may not have access to too many buffers. She gets 5 and she uses 6. That means that she is only missing 1. Sometimes she may need to skip. But if you only need endurance buff in a fight, you can actually just inherit this and use as a secondary buffer. Value is just the same as her skill Dance of Good Health. It will start on 25% and reach 30%, but you have to manually level this up. So pretty hard to train, but it does have some utility for people that are lacking secondary buffers. But right now, we don't have many characters that can buff endurance. And if you have, for example, the latest beauty, don't even try to train Orieve because it's not needed. But this Orieve is also a sword user. Her past version was a staff user. So that means that you can inherit a staff skill into a sword style that will become a buffer for remembrance. So I really like Orieve. She's a free style and can be used just fine as a secondary buffer for some hypothetical hard challenges, for some serious fights, and always for remembrance. She has two very interesting skills. Dance of Good Health buffs endurance and gives a passive with multiple effects. Has 50% chance to trigger, but it only costs 5. I think it's a fair trade. And on Remembrance, you only need to clear once, you can play with RNG. And Song of Love, it's very nice because it buffs Endurance, Love, and Charisma. And Endurance buffs are still hard to find. So even though she seems a little squishy, she can be used well when you need a secondary buffer. And because of that, I think she deserves an SS plus grade in our tier list. The next character is Young Fan, and he actually has premium status for agility and intelligence, 115% agility and 121% intelligence. And he even needed STR because he's a hybrid that uses martial arts attacks and shadow spells, but that hurts him. His endurance is just 59, and will is 78, just enough to barely work. Love and Charisma are just okay. But this guy has M-Arts instructions, that's actually pretty good. He increases damage for all allies by 10%, another 10% if they are martial artists, and Remembrance they will always be, and reduces damage taken by 10% for everyone in the squad. Attack increases by 15%, he recovers 5 EP per turn, and he has a damage reduction passive reducing damage by 25%. That's actually nice, and he gets heat ups every turn to up to 50% on turn 5. And for spells, we have Lunar Light, a Recovery Reviver with deep power and 2 BP and 1 LP. That's actually pretty okay. And we don't have many options for Shadow. Not that it matters. If you are on a Remembrance, you can bring any element. But it also cleanses from darkness and casts Morale up medium, increasing damage potential by 25% for 2 turns. Has some utility. Then we have Shadow Bolts Plus. That's a shadow spell that can apply stun to an enemy with medium chance, and his chance is gonna be pretty high. He can work super fine for Kazinsi in the future if you want him to. The third one is called Special Persona. It's a single target attack, this time based on STR and agility that are still pretty good with him. That has 8 PP cost, double S power, and a chance to inflict unconsciousness. This will be used for Siegfried Remembrance battle, where we have to kill the minions with instant kill. Together with Fairy, it's not poisoned. We have 2 characters for martial arts that are free, and we'll be able to instant kill those minions for easy runs on Remembrance, and anyone can get those characters. So a pretty good combination that allows you to do some content. Young Finn has no much utility besides this, because he lacks what else to offer, even though he looks to have some okay status. And there's no inheritance and no other future style for him. He's just a Remembrance bot, but a good one to train for Siegfried. He's gonna receive an SS- grade just because he has very limited application. The last character is Silver Emperor, and this guy here is actually pretty okay, to be honest. He has 112 STR, 95 endurance, and 76 will. You can see that he's more geared towards physical. His agility is not really great, and everything else doesn't matter about him. The first passive gives him 15% increase in damage, and he starts the fight with 12 BP. It's needed. He gets also 5 damage blocks, no turn limit. He can block 5 attacks just fine. Then by the end of a turn, if he did not take damage, he recover 4 BP. That's right. And he has some gimmicks to keep getting this damage block and more BP. Then we have 30% increase in damage and 10% chance to evade. 10% is not really great. And 45% damage increase on total. Skill number 1 is Healing Blade. That's a free skill with E-Power only that will recover his HP by around 220s. Then Burst Blades, the second skill, B-Power with 8 BP cost. That is fast with just slash damage. For his damage potential, this is just so that you can bring him as a helper, and he can actually use Burst Blade 3 times in a row. Let's say that you are using Merlot-Syrah and you are not killing the enemies. Well, just place him in the back or in the middle of a formation and he can do extra damage, or alongside any other slash damage dealer. This is the same cycle as we have with Noel from Katarina and Gustav Banner, but he has much higher damage. Then we have Silver Blade Dance. That's a single target attack with triple S power and 12 BP cost. He can use it on turn 1, and when he deals damage, he grants himself damage block for 1 time, but also no turn limit. And this is where his gimmick plays. He starts with 12, okay, and he gets these 5 damage blocks. If he is on a fight where the enemy will attack like 1, 2, maybe 3 times, but it's not always AoE, he may actually lose only 2 damage blocks on 1 turn, and then he's going to get another damage block. he will get 7 BP in that turn because he did not take damage. I think he can trigger his Repose Lesson 3 times without much problems, and then it will start to have a problem because he will not get damage blocks as fast. But that gives him some edge in some fights to either draw enemy attention to himself or to just be placed as a damage dealer that can actually do okay damage. I will just use this guy in the middle of a formation, not in the front, because drawing too many attention may actually break his system. Sometimes you can even place it on the back, like rear guard, focus, because being protected actually helps him not get as much damage. And well, this Silver Blade Dance is his gameplay. He will just try to get more and more damage blocks and keep using his skill for both damage and sustain. The moment he loses his damage blocks, he becomes very squishy. He has 0 damage reduction passive. That means that he only has 10% chance to evade. So it's not easy to use this guy. He works similarly to Henry, but Henry is a premium style, and Henry works better because he has other stuff going for him. But once you stop getting damage blocks, you really have no place to use this guy. He's just gonna die over and over again when you revive him. But for people that are missing out on Greatsword options for Remembrance, and in for Remembrance fights where the enemy don't attack as much, it may work. And, well, he's a freestyle. He's still gonna take only an SS- grade because he's more of a placeholder than anything else. But on the end of the video, I don't need to say if it's worth to pull for them, because you don't have to. They are free to get as soon as you get Spiral tickets from Spiral Corridor monthly. I already have them all, and I can say that veterans can already invest at least on Orieve and Young Fan, because they are useful for Remembrance all the time. Silver Emperor is more gimmicky, and it's more of a placeholder for people that are lacking options, but I kind of like these styles, at least they can be used. With all that said, that's my opinion. What is yours? Please say here in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I hope to see you soon in the next one. Bye.